Good evening. Welcome to the regular bi-monthly town board meeting for the town of Tuxedo, Monday, January 9th. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 7:06 PM. Would you all please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, thank you. All board members are here this evening, but I'd like to point out that due to illness, Maria May and Deirdre are away. You can see them on the screen. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for helping to keep us all safe. Everyone should remember, if you have signs of illness, please stay home and take care of yourself. So we have a very sparse crowd here this evening, and we're all socially distant. So hopefully we'll all remain safe for the rest of the meeting. We have a small agenda this evening. The agenda item number 1 is a resolution to approve the town supervisor to sign Rockland Paramedics Incorporated contract. We'll run through that in a minute. And then we have a town reorg document that we've been working on for several months. I think we're in good shape, so probably not a lot of discussion on that. Michelle, I think you needed to run out.
That's okay.
You're okay? Okay. First, any public comment on the agenda items? It's coming up. If you have any comment, we'd be happy to take it, but these aren't really all that commentable items. You guys ready to go? Everybody got their packets? Deirdre and Maria, you ready to go? Got your packets ready? Very good. All right, so agenda item number 1. The resolution to authorize town supervisor to sign the Rockland Paramedics Incorporated contract. I'll make a motion, I'll ask for a second, that the town board of the town of Tuxedo hereby authorizes town supervisor Kenneth English to sign the attached Rockland Paramedics Incorporated contract and specifications. Do I have a second here on the dais?
Second?
Seconded by Michelle Lindsay. Okay, we'll now open to town discussion. I do have the contract in front of us. The combined contract, we have a contract for EMS services and a separate amount. So the combined amount, actually, okay, excuse me. So the contract price, if you're following along at home, the contract price for the EMT paramedic service is $654,306. That's payable in monthly installments of $54,525. So that's the EMT paramedic service.
And that's the part that had a significant increase this year because
Wages mostly.
wages, insurance, right. I mean,
Yeah.
we discussed this a month ago or something like that, but
Probably almost 2 months ago,
Yeah.
yep.
When Tim Egan came in and discussed it with
Right.
us, he was explaining that they had been working on reserves, but finally had to catch up. They kind of ran out of reserves.
right. Well, you know how that goes.
You know, interestingly, on national news, I had seen several stories about the difficulty recruiting and the extremely low rates of pay that they were paying these people, and it was shocking that somebody with that level of experience would be making less than $20 an hour. I really, it doesn't sound right to me.
And I remember, speaking of that Tim also explained that because there's only one paramedic, they are the more qualified
Right.
so that also is a higher salary.
So the total contract price is $758,358.50. Is that correct, Karen? Thank you. any discussion, Maria or Deirdre? I see that, good, no discussion? I'm good.
I'm good.
Any further comment?
Just, I think that it's the large increases this year, but didn't you work out a
Oh,
deal
yeah.
where it says multi-year?
So, yeah, we worked out a 2-year contract to at least protect us many further large increases. So let me thank you for pointing that out. So the term of this agreement is for 1 year commencing January 2023 and ending December 2023. But we negotiated in this one additional year of contract at a plus 4%. So that's all we can really get at this point was a 2-year contract. I think they're waiting to see where these prices actually head, but we're good for 2 years now, so I think that's a good place to be. So if that's the end of the discussion. I'll just take a roll call vote. Let's go, just vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. I guess just to add to that, I mean, you know, people really depend on reliable emergency services and the ambulance. I actually had them come to my house once and it was a relief to have a certified paramedic,
I think,
EMT, excuse me.
I think that pretty much our major job as the town is to provide services with flashing lights, right?
Yeah.
Cops, firemen, ambulances, highway vehicles, everything else is gravy.
We got this squared away for at least 2 years.
Yeah, no, you got flashing lights on your trucks too.
All right, second agenda item, let's see where we're at here, sorry. Town reorg. So, we've been looking at this for quite a while. I'll just tell the town board, working with Carrie, the most recent additions that you probably hadn't seen because we added just with it since Friday. We updated some of the contracts to make sure that, to include them here on this document. I believe you'd probably find them towards the end of the reorg document. Oh, under professional services, excuse me. So we added the, it says page 8 at the bottom of,
Okay.
and it's right in the middle. The interstate waste, and right below that is the Rockland paramedic. Just memorializing for this board and future boards, contracts that might be expiring. So for example, the interstate waste contract was a 5-year contract that began in September of 2020. And even that, just highlighting that it has kind of it started with that off schedule. But we negotiated a 5-year contract, and right now we're in, obviously, 2023, 2024. And Carrie and I checked the contract today. All these numbers are correct. And Carrie, I think we were determining it was right around a 2% increase per year.
Under, it came in about
Under
1.5,
2%,
yeah.
Which thankfully we negotiated that 5 years ago, and because I doubt they'd agree to that today, but we're locked in with that contract, so we're in a good place.
Just a minor point of order in the Rockland paramedic.
Okay,
In the reorg, it's 758, 358 and no cents. And on your paper, it's 758, 358 and 50 cents.
yeah, I don't know where I got that 50, but
So-
okay.
I mean, I'll make up the 50 cents.
All right,
Just
I'll
in case
chip in.
anybody, whichever one it is, that's what we're paying.
All right. Thank you for that. We rounded down, I think.
But it's a not to exceed, so. All right, you want to do it the fast way? I move that we approve it.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out also that the Rockland paramedic, that was the only two things I think we added, Carrie, since the last generation that we circulated.
Yeah, and the change in the mileage rate that the IRS just issued.
Okay, and they actually upped the rate. We might want to reconsider that with the price of gas going down, but it is what it
They
is.
may have to, I mean, it's whatever the rate is. So.
Right. So those were the changes. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the reorg document. Do I have a second? We can still have a discussion.
I'll second that.
Okay, seconded by Jay Reichcott. Of course, it's open to discussion, and I'll pause and let my colleagues.
I don't see the, what we had last year, the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, the statement saying that the members serve without compensation, and they will be, I'm just paraphrasing the resolution, they will be comprised of individuals to be appointed by the town board later in 2022. That was in last year's reorg, and I think it should be in this reorg with an update that individuals be appointed in 2023.
I think with that item, to my understanding, that's an item that needed updating in the town code because the way it's been worded, and
I mean, we can update, we can appoint members to the board as currently defined in the town code, which we haven't done in recent memory. We could put in the resolution that we're gonna do that and then change what the board does before we do it if we want. And I don't think it's significant one way or another.
No, it's pretty simple.
I'm fine with either one. I'd make the recommendation that we just tackle the issue and square it away once and for all. I don't think we're in need of an advisory board immediately, but.
Well, it says we're going to appoint them, I mean, what we said last year was we were going to appoint them later in 2022.
Right.
So let's just update that and say we're going to appoint them in 2023.
Yeah, I mean, it's an aspirational goal. I don't have a problem
I have a
with
problem
it.
with it.
Doesn't tie us to anything.
No, so,
You wanna-
so we'll include that in the reorg. I'll make a motion to add that. Do I have a second?
I'll second
I'll
that.
second.
No,
Okay.
Maria will second that.
So we're good. Could you just read exactly what you had
Sure.
there, Michelle?
Let me go back to where that was. I'm looking at another one. Draft.
Do you want me to find it? I think Marissa.
I
Thank
think
you,
she-
thank you, Deirdre. I was
she has
able-
it right now.
yeah,
Thank you so
I was
much.
just switching screens. Resolved that the parks, I'm sorry, let me repeat that. Resolved that the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, whose members serve without compensation, be comprised of individuals to be appointed by the town board later in 2023.
All in favor of adding that?
Aye.
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 Okay, we're good. All right, you can just send that to Marissa and Carrie, and we'll get that in the final document.
Okay, and then the other one is, let me go back to the wording. So here we are. I kind of took that same language, and this is about the Climate Smart Community Task Force.
Okay.
This would be the motion I would put on the table. Resolve that the Tuxedo Climate Smart Community Task Force, whose members serve without compensation, be comprised of individuals to be appointed by the town board later in 2023. The task force manager to be chosen by its members shall serve for a 2-year term. The task force has chosen Michelle Lindsay to serve as manager for the term ending December 31, 2024. I don't know if I could do that since my name is.
Okay, I'll make a motion to
What she said.
accept that resolution. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, open to town board discussion.
I have I have a comment.
Please,
I
Howard.
I think the town board previously designated Michelle as um,
Chairman.
the chairman. Yeah, I think it's best that the town board retain the authority to choose the chairman of that group rather than delegate it to the group itself.
Okay.
So should we do that now, Howard, or do we do that once the task force is established?
Well, you've already designated Michelle as the manager, right?
Right,
So I think that's already done.
okay. And for a 2-year period?
That's what the motion is.
I believe that's what was done previously. Wasn't it a 2-year?
There wasn't a specific ending date. That's why I thought it would be more clear going forward, for future town boards to have. a
That's fine.
specific-
Yeah, that's fine, sure.
Okay.
So change in the motion was to place the authority of assigning the chairperson
Right.
to
The
the
town
town.
board, yeah. What did I do? Okay,
And since this is open discussion, I'm fine with that.
Yep, good.
I'm good with that.
I think that's actually, as Howard pointed out, what it was in the past, so
Yeah.
it's just staying consistent with that.
okay, so I'll send that to Marissa, the wording of it, and let me just go back to that. Solutions. Come here.
So Michelle and I were discussing this today. I mean, this is a group that's been active, led by Michelle diligently for more than 2 years. Michelle, we were just talking about some of the accomplishments and the goals moving forward. The LED street lights, events such as the composting events at the train station, the community choice aggregation. These, if you could just update people
Sure.
like this is a DEC
So the New York,
administered kind of program that we're shooting for?
yes, so New York State has this program. There's 2 different programs. One is run by the DEC, one is run by NYSERDA. And the DEC program is the Climate Smart Community Program, and the NYSERDA is Clean Energy Program. So achieving clean energy community certification is an action item on its own, as well as an action item under Climate Smart Community. So we are striving to achieve both certifications. And the clean energy certification is a little bit easier because there's only 10 action items, and you are certified as soon as you've completed 4. We anticipate completing 4 action items by the end of 2023. That is the energy code enforcement training, which Dave Makish has already done. It's the LED streetlight conversion. It's that we have already done and have nearly completed all streetlights conversions. And then the community choice aggregation program that we are in the middle of rolling out right now. We're in the public outreach phase. That would be one. And then the 4th one I'm hoping to do by the end of the year is the unified solar permit. So we have permitting required by the building department. And if we can get certified, we can get points for that if we just align it with the state's solar permit.
So those are permits for installations of solar units on residential
Oh,
properties?
thank you, yes, only for small residential projects. Rooftop, obviously, because you want to make sure the roof can handle it, or standalone in a yard, so.
That sounds great. I don't have any further questions.
Okay.
Deidre and Maria, any further questions, comments?
No, I think it's a good thing. I'm happy we're doing it.
Yeah, and I sent you my report we had a Climate Smart meeting just before this meeting, and we're working on energy audits, we're working on investigating alternate heat sources, heat pumps, and other types of things. So we're working on greenhouse gas inventories, and all departments are helping us with that. So those are the things on the Climate Smart list of action items that we need to take. As I said, the clean energy are kind of simple. We only need to do 4. On the Climate Smart, you need to achieve 120 points, and the bigger action items like community choice aggregation gets more points. So things like the recycling webinars we did last year, or the composter sale, they only get like 2 or 3 points. So you need the bigger items to get to 120, but it does look like we're going to get there this year.
So what is the benefit to the town after they hit 120 points is what?
So first, as soon as we get clean energy certification, we immediately get $5,000 towards some sort of clean energy upgrade. I could send you an article of all the grants that are available through the DEC once we achieve Climate Smart Community certification.
Okay.
Municipalities.
I seem to remember that. I just
$5.
forgot. Yeah. Okay.
So
Perfect.
that's,
I want to thank Michelle for really spearheading this on for so long, for so many years, and being tireless about it. So thank you, Michelle.
well, thank you. And you do attend our meetings when
Yes.
you can, and so I appreciate that.
And she's signing on for another 2 years, so there we go. We have a legal document
Must be
recording.
something wrong with me.
Well, thank you again. I think we made a motion to include that in the reorg document.
We did the first one, we
Okay,
did
I'd
the second
like-
one, we have to vote on it. Yes,
We have to vote on this. Okay.
yes, that's additional.
All in favor for adding this to the reorg document?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you
Okay.
all.
So now we're just considering the entire package. If there's no further comment or questions, discussion, I'll pause for a moment. I'm taking silence to mean we're ready to vote on the reorg document. Is that correct?
Sure.
Okay. I guess we'll just do an all in favor. All in favor of approving the reorg document?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you.
That was a lot of work. Thank you, guys.
I would point out that we have a couple of other items to take care of in the next, several weeks.
Yes.
We need to finalize fees, the escrow fees. We need to make sure that we've got the building department permit fees correct. I know that the building clerk was saying that we need to update those a little bit. So we need to get the final numbers so that we can do that, and I would like to try to get that done at the next meeting. So,
Love to. Do we have a comprehensive list of what those fee names are? I know we need the numbers, but also what the list of,
we need to finalize the list.
Okay,
We need to finalize the list and finalize the amounts to make sure we have it all collected. So,
okay. I pledge to work with whoever can do that.
Deborah can be very helpful with that. so.
Okay.
And then
Excuse me.
you know, a lot of-
One thing I would suggest you consider is asking all of the appointees to sign the oath book again. They may have done it in the past, but this is a good opportunity to have a clean, fresh start so that we know that everybody has in fact signed.
So Howard, are you saying even if somebody signed for a 5-year term, they should come in and sign again, or?
Well, ideally, that would be my preference, but if we have proof that they in fact signed, then
So-
okay. But there's always questions that come up as to whether they have signed.
Right,
at the reorg meeting, it's a good time to remind people of the obligation because their offices become vacant if they don't sign
So
or haven't
Marissa,
signed.
Marissa's nodding her head. She'll verify that everyone who's on the board has documented proof that they signed in, took the oath of office.
Yes, and I'm coordinating with Deborah to attend the first meeting for the zoning board. So I'm going to meet them ahead of the meeting and administer the oaths to those that need it, so.
Great.
Yes.
Thanks for that reminder, Howard.
And I think, just reading through this, we have a couple of vacancies that we still have to fill, right? We got an assessor that needs to be filled.
Board of Assessment Review,
Yes,
yeah.
so just,
Okay. And that's a board that functions in April, I believe, mostly?
Mostly, yeah.
When is the training? The training is maybe April. We need to get somebody on board by then.
Okay. And then we need an alternate for?
Zoning.
Okay.
That's it. Got a full.
we got a full slate, good.
I think we're at monthly reports, but before I forget, I want to make an announcement. That recently, in January 7th, a firefighting graduation ceremony was held, and we have 6 graduates of the firefighting academy training. Is that accurate? They completed the academy training? Firefighting 1. Oh, okay. So we have, I'm not sure, is this across from multiple companies, this list, Marissa? Yes. Okay, so I'd like to name the graduates from the Firefighting 1 training session. Jason Clark, Ian Towns, Percival Molina, Aiden Iazetti, Dan Wolstein, and Ryan Burns. How about a round of applause and thank you? I'm sure this is a rigorous training, and certainly the town appreciates the commitment and the service to saving lives and property here in Tuxedo. Every time that siren rings at 3 a.m., I really literally do think, wow, these are dedicated people who get up and respond. Thank you. No short order. Okay, so we're at the monthly reports. Let's start with department updates. Let me see, I'm gonna turn my direction over this way. I'm gonna start with somebody whose last name is Dolbaum. Let me see. Who might it be? Marissa Dolbaum. Town
I'm the
clerk.
chosen one. Thank you very
Extraordinaire.
much. Good evening, everyone. Wishing everyone a happy new year. I'd like to bring something to the board's attention.
The microphone is on, right?
Yeah.
Just check.
Yes.
Interstate Waste Services, we have the 2 glass recycling dumpsters, one across from Quarry Field, one at Murphy Field. We often get reports from residents that they're overflowing and they're full. So it's great that people are utilizing them. We might want to see if we need to change the pickup schedule. Right now, they're picking up every 2 weeks. They are charging us $80 per dumpster. So just something to think about. But I did receive a picture where it was not only overflowing, but there was glass containers in boxes and bags in front of the dumpster.
what
So-
size dumpsters are they?
Do you know what size?
Like a 10-yard.
Oh, there's another thing. Do we want a bigger one? But I'm sure that would up the cost as well. So
Well, so let's find out either,
which,
let's see which is cheaper.
okay. So I can reach out and just get quotes and,
Then there was a
See what you think.
suggestion, would we consider one in Laurel Ridge or whatever? It's working good now. I don't know at Eagle Valley, but my wife diligently goes to the Quarry Field one, and so I do know a lot of Laurel Ridge residents, and I assume Southfield, but I guess the spot is working, so
I,
Would we consider
feel
more
like
of
it.
these, dispersing them more widely?
that's an option, yeah. The one at Murphy
always
Field as
full,
well,
yeah,
I do
now.
get reports from residents when it is full.
Is Murphy also filled in the same kind of
At
fashion?
times, yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
It is.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
people have
it's
really,
amazing how many wine bottles are in it, to be honest.
yeah, well, that's one that I didn't contribute to, but
Well, I go in the middle of the night.
I'm not a wine drinker, but the aluminum cans that go in the recycling, I'm
Yeah.
guilty for some of those, that's for sure.
But I guess the answer is yes, let's find out what it'll cost to get them either
Just get
picked up
some
more often
options,
or
okay.
bigger dumpsters. And while we're talking about that,
Would we consider a third location maybe?
if, sure, I mean, let's find out what it's gonna
We'll
cost.
brainstorm it. I'll talk with Rob, see if we
Okay.
possibly think of another spot that.
Very good, thank you very much. Along the lines of pickups and disposing of things, I do get quite a few inquiries how to get rid of things. And Orange County has an app, it's called Recycle Coach, which is pretty neat. I've used it before. You can type in what you want to get rid of, and it'll direct you of what your options are, and you put in your town. You can put in Tuxedo or Tuxedo Park, and it'll usually direct you to either the transfer stations, or they'll alert you if there's a countywide drop-off event coming up, or if you can dispose of it in your garbage, or if there's other options to recycle. So that's pretty handy. We have an upcoming event. We're gonna announce it before Rob. The Tuxedo Bonfire is coming up, and please donate your Christmas trees. If you haven't already done so, you can leave them at the curb in the next week and a half. Right. So the last day for pickup is Friday, January 20th, and the bonfire is on the 21st. And weather permitting, there will be ice skating, so bring your own ice skates. There's a food truck that will be selling empanadas, tacos, hot dogs, drinks. So it sounds like a fun winter activity. What are the hours for the event? That's a good question. Well, it starts at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Until the last tree is burned.
Yes. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa.
You're welcome.
Robert Dolbaum,
Good evening, everybody, and Happy New Year.
Put your microphone on.
hit his mic.
I'm not gonna say that again.
He said good evening.
We'll just keep going. First thing, Christmas trees. Like Melissa was saying, do pick up your Christmas trees, including the woodlands, up until, it'll be the 20th this year, which the bonfire's after that. Sewer plant, the new sewer plant is being hooked up on Wednesday. They're putting the line from our sewer plant to the new sewer plant. And they have to switch the water over. There's been a little bit of, we've used over 120,000 gallons of water this quarter, which we normally use 7,000 or 8,000 gallons. Come to find out, it's going through our meter into the other plant, to the new plant. So that's going to be fixed on Wednesday or Thursday this week also. And then there's a leak at our plant, a water leak of about, 10,000 gallons a month. That'll be eliminated Wednesday when we discontinue our water meter.
So the water you're talking about is effluent sewage, effluent.
No, water that we're getting paid, but we have to pay for. The drinking water, clean.
Okay.
There's potable
Now,
water
they
needed for the process.
they use the drinking water that goes into our plant, the clean water that goes into our plant to fill the tanks at the new plant. And so it should have gone through their meter, but it went through our meter and then to them. So that's going to be straightened out on Wednesday, Thursday this week. I talked to Henry about it today. It was a big to-do. Of course, we shut the water down, found out that we had a leak, but I think that was from a freeze up that nobody told us about Christmas time. So we straightened that out. So that's going to be Wednesday. We're supposed to be up and running. Okay, okay. Well, there's some other stuff that we'll go over at another time. But Tree work, we're working on tree work today. We're by the entrance to Quarry Field, cutting back a bunch of the dead ash trees that are over the entrance that are hanging there and stuff. And we're working on Warwick Brook Road till we get to the end. We'll turn around and go back to where we left off last year, and then we're off to Laurel Ridge. So that's our schedule for now. And I have something that I can't even read my own there. I'll go with that. That's what we're doing.
How we
Oh,
doing with
we're-
the plowing and salt and all that?
Yeah, we still have that. We're on the rock pile. We have, we're working steady on the rock pile now. I have Watchtower, the people that did the screening for us 2 years ago, that contractor wants some rocks from our rock pile. So he's coming Wednesday to take some loads of rocks away. So at least it's getting something off the property.
Great.
Enough, because now we need room for what we're cleaning up now. So it's working out, that's working out. Still, we can't get rid of any soil, and that's about it. That's what we got going with that. And that's what was the other thing.
You all set up with salt and everything?
We still have salt from last year. I have my normal 2,000 ton set away for this year, but the way it's looking, we're not going to be using anywhere near that again unless February turns out to be a nightmare. So,
Great.
It's global warming's good for something.
I saw in the news, we're 14 degrees above normal.
and the last thing is, I know that it's up, I imagine to you, or you want me to do this myself? We're supposed to have a yearly sexual harassment training class, whatever. Do you want me to do that as a highway department thing? or do you
I'll
wanna do it as a-
I'll get that straight with you, Rob. I'll consult with Michael Richardson. Certainly one part of it is watching a New York State video at this point.
Okay.
And people could either do that independently or you could do it as a group.
Maybe I can do it on one of my safety days.
That would be a
Let's
great
say,
thing.
Every Tuesday, we have safety meeting, takes about a half hour, but,
You and I will go over that agenda
Do
just to
that.
make sure we check all the boxes in one meeting.
right. So,
Great.
okay, that's it. That's enough for today.
Thank you. Supervisor's update, little echo. The sewer plant will be operational this week.
This week.
That's right, Wednesday. So, I know we've all been working on this for a long time, and this is a major milestone here in Tuxedo, so I hope you're all paying attention out there. This is protecting 260 homes and businesses here in Tuxedo. As a result of us working out this Tuxedo Farms agreement, the town now will finally have this $10 million plant up and running, protecting these properties. From what I understand, the water that actually comes out of this plant, you could drink. By comparison to what we have going on there, that's a major milestone, not only for this community, but for everybody downstream and for the ecology in general. So that's a major milestone. Looking forward to that.
The effluent from a modern plant is typically cleaner than the river you dump it in.
Yeah.
Well,
Except for what the engineers call the ick factor. What we really should be doing is connecting the pipe to the water treatment plant, because it's cleaner than, and never mind.
Right, I understand your point there. And this plant really is
Oh, it's state of the art.
state of the art.
But I'm sorry, Michelle, I stepped on what you were trying to say.
oh no, I was just gonna ask, the sewer moratorium can be lifted now, or
Not today.
not right away, but
But yes, once the
Year?
plant, once we're convinced that the plant is really fully operational, then we'll be able to lift the sewer moratorium.
Well, the DEC has to lift it because it's a DEC moratorium, not.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
okay.
We can work on getting it lifted.
right.
But that shouldn't be hard to do with this state-of-the-art facility.
I think once you connect, you can pretty much have it lifted, yes.
Well, that's exciting for economic development, right?
Sure.
Definitely.
And then the Tuxedo LDC, this is the Hamlet revitalization, the Tuxedo Business Center, Town Center District. Tuxedo LDC meeting is Tuesday, January 17th at 7 PM. This is an information session. Information is all available on our website. Marissa loaded it all up. The grant application, this is to find out for Tuxedo business owners and commercial property owners in the hamlet, as we call it, opportunities to learn about grants up to $250,000. So help spread the word. January 17th, 7 PM for property owners and business owners. Come learn more about those opportunities. And I might steal somebody's thunder here, but Wednesday, January 11th, we have a special town board meeting. Maybe you can tell them
Oh,
what
I'll
that's
let
all
Deirdre. Well, okay, so Deirdre and I have been working with Burgess Associates, an update to the Tuxedo Town Center plan. And so, which is also commonly known as the Hamlet Business District. And there's some exciting, I mean, hopefully you were able to download from the Dropbox,
I
the
was able
drawings.
today, yes.
Yeah, oh, good, oh, good. So there's some great ideas in there that we're looking forward to sharing with everybody on Wednesday. Right, Deirdre?
Yeah,
That's 7 PM here in Town Hall, right?
no,
Yes.
6:30. 6:30.
Oh, thank you, right, 6:30, that's right.
And that's also available online through our Zoom account. So those will record it, so it'll be available live and recorded up through our website. I'm sorry, I'm passing the baton to you,
Oh,
Michelle.
are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I kind of did, but didn't. let you.
Okay. We had a Climate Smart meeting this afternoon at 5:30, and let me go to that. We're working on, besides other things I was talking about before, I'll just add a couple other things. The village has already obtained offers from New York Power Authority for electricity supply, only for the municipal buildings. And you met with Cullen Brown, right? And I think you were there too, Carrie, to talk about getting electricity supply from New York Power Authority. And the village calculated a 30% reduction in their energy costs. So that'll be really cool. So we're waiting to get offers back from them for the town. The village is also looking at heat pumps. The town Climate Smart Community Task Force and the Tuxedo Park Village one, they just meet together to share information. So, and it's very helpful because some of the things they're doing give us ideas of what we could do and vice versa. So they're also looking at heat pumps and solar panels on municipal buildings in the village. I discussed about our energy audits, and we have some dates set for public information about the Community Choice Aggregation Program. And there are 2 dates at the library, which I think you have those dates, Marissa, or I'll send them to you, so you can put them on the town calendar. First one is Thursday, February 9th at 7 o'clock at the library. It's going to be a hybrid, in person and also on the library Zoom, not the town Zoom. And then another one at the library is Saturday, March 4th at 3 o'clock, in person at the library and on their Zoom. And then one more is Thursday, February 16th at 7 o'clock. That is hosted by the Climate Smart Task Force, and it will be on the town's Zoom, in person and on the town Zoom. So all that information will be on the website. And, I think
What was
that's-
the time on the March 16th meeting?
March 16th is 7 o'clock.
Thank you.
So 2 Thursdays, February 9, February 16, both at 7. One at the library, one here in Town Hall.
And then Saturday, the 4th, at 3 PM at the library.
At the library, yeah. Okay, and then there are some discussion items coming from the review, annual review that we held in the building department that we can talk about, figuring out when we want to discuss those items.
Okay. I'll finish with the board reports. I'm gonna get, the order will be when you join the board, I'll go with Maria, then Jay, then Deirdre.
Hi, so I had a question about, have we heard from Mr. Hempel about the new tax that that
Yes,
the New York
no,
State,
I know what you mean, yeah. This is about the fire department being able to offer a tax credit for volunteers. They currently offer up to $200 on income tax. The new one is, they already do that. And the new one is property tax credit. And he was looking into that. He said last week they were having a fire commissioner meeting and he was going to get back to me, but I'll follow up. Thank you
have
for
it.
reminding
Okay.
me.
and the other thing, the second thing I was thinking is that the cannabis law went into effect. The first dispensaries have been open. I think that because we allowed those in our town, I think we need to sit down and come up with, read the regulations and come up with our own, laws that are related to that, so that we're ready in case that somebody wants to have an establishment of that kind in our town.
I can speak to that a little bit. I've been working on that and working on it with Howard. The resolution that we passed, and Howard, when I say something wrong, stop me. The resolution that we passed defined, specifically called the establishments retail cannabis dispensaries, thank you. Which makes them retail businesses just like the liquor store and Bentley's and the gun shop up the street. As far as we can tell, we don't need to do anything else.
Oh.
And the state laws that govern the dispensaries are very clear about, just like liquor stores, very clear about setback
Right.
distances and all of those sort of rules. Those are all very carefully spelled out, and specifically forbid municipalities from issuing their own licenses for those establishments. So we could set up zoning laws, and I'd say we should set up the same zoning laws as we have for liquor stores, which are their retail and subject to any other, but not subject to any other rules. So,
Right.
I mean, we could
Yeah.
do more, but that's all we have to do.
Yeah, right now, they are and will be treated as retail establishments under your zoning law. And just like, as Jay said, liquor stores have certain state requirements that they must comply with. These cannabis dispensaries will have to comply with those state regulations applicable to them. But for zoning purposes, they are retail.
There are a couple of good information sheets which I had meant to send out, and then I got distracted by a squirrel or something, but I'll send them to the board. But if you go to the cannabis website for the state, it has all the stuff, but I'll send you.
Yeah, I've seen it. I was there before.
I'll send you what I
Okay,
found.
and last thing is that Deirdre and I have been working with Claire to create a yearly calendar of events for the town, and coming up with ideas about how to organize it, how to present them to the board and be more supportive of her. So that's some of the work that we have been doing. And finally, I just want to mention that for those of you that went to the dog Easter egg walk last year, the woman who created that, and she has created walks with dogs for, she was a long-term member of the Friends of Sterling Forest. She passed away. So actually last year, it was such a fun event. We had a whole bunch of dogs and it snowed, and she really was a very special person. She was a teacher. Her name is Hetty Albert. And she also was a lifelong animal rescuer. So she will be missed.
Thank you,
That's it for me.
Jay?
Well, I talked about marijuana. Let me talk about the Tuxedo Bag Project again. For those of you who haven't heard me rattle on about this, the Tuxedo Bag Project was set up by a couple of students at the Tuxedo Park School to collect reusable bags for the Sloatsburg Food Pantry. They'll take any kind of bag, plastic bags, paper bags. The reusable bags are, of course, their preference. As of the last delivery we made last week or right after Christmas, we've topped 2,500 bags that we've donated to the food pantry, which are bags that they don't have to buy. And unfortunately, they still need lots of bags. So everybody's got a bag of bags in their closet or their car. Donate them to the food pantry, and then you can start a new bag of bags. Collection boxes are available here in Town Hall, in Tuxedo Village Hall, at Tuxedo Park School if you can crash through the gate, and at Sloatsburg Town Hall. Or stop me on the street and hand me a bunch of bags and I'll throw them in the back of my car. Oh, and I'm sorry, and at the Woodlands, somewhere.
In the clubhouse.
In the Woodlands Clubhouse. Look for the box with the sign that says Tuxedo Bag Project and the picture of a cat.
Correct.
That's all I got.
So the cat's out of the bag.
You know what? When volunteers say, I'm gonna make a sign that's gonna have a cat on it, I say, thank you very much.
Perfect. There we go. Deirdre Murphy.
So quickly, we did get back the PR article for Tuxedo Farms that we submitted to Related for their feedback. And they basically sent it back intact. So that will be going out to local newspapers and publicity, for some publicity on Tuxedo Farms. We also got on the front page of the Photo News, and I'm convinced that that's because we've been doing such great things in Tuxedo. And now we actually have what I call a stringer. A stringer is a freelance reporter who's basically been assigned to Tuxedo to talk about a lot of the things that we're doing in Tuxedo because we've caught the eye of the editor. So I think, Michelle, you have an interview with that reporter tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So
Yeah, he wants to ask me about the community choice aggregation program.
right. So hopefully we'll get a lot more publicity going on. I mean, last year we had, I think, about 4 or 5 articles in the Home Photo News. So the goal this year would be to do about 8. So working on that. I have put together for events and event marketing and event project management so that we can better manage all the events and the things that we do in Tuxedo. Most importantly, it starts with a budget. So working with Carrie, we'll start to put budgets and numbers to all the events that we do so that we can monitor the expenses of our activities going forward. And I've also put together a schedule so that anyone who is doing something has an actual timeline and a time schedule along with a budget format they can follow for all of the programs that we have. So hopefully that'll help to facilitate some better management of our events going forward. So that's it for me. And I'm sure I'll find out, we have the meeting on Wednesday, which I'm looking forward to. I do want to point out that this is the first of hopefully many studies that we're going to do on the Hamlet to hopefully come up with at the end, after discussion and review of all these different experts that are coming in, come up with a long-term strategic plan for the Hamlet. So looking forward to it.
Thank you. Moving down, minutes. I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of the regular bi-monthly town board meeting held on December 28th. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Michelle. Open for discussion. I did see many responses to Marissa. Any additions, edits suggested?
I think we're good. I'm good.
None. All in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Unanimous, okay. Vouchers.
About the vouchers. So prior to, just before you approve the vouchers, I need the board's guidance on the related escrow account. The escrow account as of January 31st was still $34,5450. We have vouchers totaling $11,576 in this voucher run. So I need the board's guidance as to should we, if you want to pay them in advance, obviously we've got a great relationship with Related and we have no problem fulfilling that escrow, but I need the board's, direction.
Sorry, what was the discrepancy?
We have 3,450, so $8,121.75
That the escrow is short.
Yes.
after we approve these.
Understood.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that they want their permits. I'm not worried about them leaving.
I'm not very
So
concerned.
I think that let's send them a reminder that they need to.
Which I sent today, Caitlin, I said, listen, here's what we're at. And she actually asked me prior, she said, what is the balance as of 12/31? I still anticipate 2 months' worth of attorney's bills, things coming through because of just how their billing is delayed. We're probably gonna see a few things come through. So I just don't know how the board wants to proceed. For the new project, we've established its own account, so going forward, once that's fulfilled. So this is basically closing out the escrow that we currently have for the project.
Yeah, I just remind people that that was over $108,000, I believe.
Right.
And so, the last time, Related didn't blink and covered it immediately, so I expect the same response. And, as you pointed out, we're already establishing a new escrow for, Tuxedo Farms that'll go through the, building department. And so,
Well, wasn't the agreement that, once it got down to 15,000, below 15,000, it had to go back up to 15,000?
It was, but we're at the end here, so we're closing out this escrow and we're trying to just get the bills in. So that's what I said, it's up to the board. Do you want to keep that 15 or are we just trying to pay the rest of these bills under this escrow and then start the new escrow account?
Well, I remember when we were at the end of the special permit review, there was a list of things that the town board still needs to be involved with as far as legal consultation. So I would say we go back to 15 and then, when all those little punch item things are resolved from the town board's point of view, then we can just close it out then.
Yeah.
That would be my
I'll communicate that
suggestion.
with Greg Boucher.
Okay.
I don't anticipate a problem.
But that won't hold up
15,000.
this, that's all it was. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and pay the bills.
Yes,
And then let's
yes.
get the escrow built back up to what they owe us on that, plus bring us back to 15 grand, and we'll see where it goes. The worst thing that will happen is we'll hold some of their money for a while.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks for bringing
Thank
that to
you.
our attention. So I'll make the motion Ask for a second in a moment. That the following vouchers have been audited by the town board are hereby approved for payment. Claim number 201-292-1007 through 201-292-1055. Please note voucher 201-292-1024 was deleted. It was a duplicate invoice. Do I have a second on that?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Jay. And we do have the pile over there to be
Yeah,
signed.
don't forget to sign them.
Any discussion on those?
Not for me.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We're at the famous public comments. Only people who ate a cookie are allowed to make comments. Just you. You didn't eat yours yet? Okay, well, you have one. For those of you in the virtual audience, we had cookies for people who showed up here tonight. If you come down real quick, we'll give you one. Go ahead, Jerry Matola.
First question, is the contract with Cablevision up this year?
This is public comments. I didn't know we had that, be prepared to answer that question. I really don't know.
I don't know.
Marissa
It
Dolbob
is?
knows.
Oh,
It's up for renewal?
The 10-year, I believe it's up the end of this year.
end of 2023?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we should add that to the reorg document.
We should have the reorg document. We should also reach out and see if they want to renew it.
Well, thank you for that.
Can we get other companies involved?
So that's like the franchise agreement for all people in town? Yeah, I mean, my brother's actually been in the cable business for 35 years. I mean, it's the company who actually laid out the cable. I mean, from what I understand, in order to get the franchise, you'd have to replace all those lines, but I could be totally wrong. Maybe Howard knows more about that. Usually the franchise agreements were carved up, and the person that was awarded the contract had to lay out all the cable. Now, I don't know what would happen to any of that, but beyond.
Well, I think the reality is there's not a lot of competition on physical cabling in existence. So you could say that, and the reality is that any cable company can approach the town and ask for a franchise, and they have to show how they would serve the community. So it's not that the town is foreclosing that. But whether we affirmatively advertise for it is a policy decision for you. You know, there are a lot of alternatives for cable service now, for TV service, that don't require wires, as long as you have internet available.
Yeah, I think that's the big.
That's the big issue. One of the,
Yeah,
I mean, one of the big competitors would be FiOS.
Right.
As of last year, when I was talking to them about this, FiOS runs on fiber optic, and it's fiber optic, you know, all the way back to headquarters.
Yep.
And there is no fiber optic trunk lines in this area yet, and they don't even have, or as of last year, they didn't even have it in the several-year look-ahead plan to start installing that. So I'm not sure we're gonna be able to count on FiOS. I mean, that information is several months old, but we can try.
I'm not thrilled with my cable service, so yeah, we'll look into that.
Can I have a question about that? When I was on the town board and it was approved to have cable service in Tuxedo, it was required and part of the agreement that every person or every property in Tuxedo would have cable service. As of this date, Contractors Road still does not have cable service, which has, I get complaints about it all the time. Marissa gets complaints about it all the time, and this is something, being how their contract is up, is something that we should finally put an end to, because everybody on Contractors Road that owns a business, and there's about 15 businesses, believe it or not, on Contractors Road, they all want cable service and cannot get it.
I thought that they were gonna put 5G there.
They were gonna do a lot of stuff and nothing's done yet. There's still a couple of them are still using dial-up.
Oh,
So, yes, the cable, before the cable company gets a contract, they should have, and Marissa can look up the original agreement, because that was the agreement for them to put their stations across from the bank, or which is now the thing. Those buildings, the town let them put the buildings there in order for everybody in town. They whined about Arden, they whined about Monbation, all the people up there, because there wasn't a lot of people and they had to run a lot of line. But they did it, but they never did Contractors Road because they have to deal with the railroad.
So I'll work with our town attorney to review that contract and bring up the termination date and also the lack of compliance with the original agreement still to this date with Contractors Road.
while we're at it, let's put timers on those lights on those two buildings.
Yeah.
So they turn them off at night. I mean, have them put, if they're security lights, put motion sensors on them, but they shouldn't run all night.
Public comment. Pass the microphone, sir.
My comment is about the glass recycling bins. It feels to me like the company is double dipping because glass was included in the original agreement, to my understanding, and yet they're charging us additional to have glass dumpsters. And now now if we want to add dumpsters, it's going to cost even more. In the beginning, it was thought that it wasn't enough of an issue to argue with them about the double dipping, but as we obviously have a need for it and the need is increasing, I think we really should take a look at that.
Thank you.
I totally agree. It's in the contract.
I agree too.
All right, we'll bring that to their attention. Are you gonna sing for us now? What's going on?
have the last word here.
Oh, okay. We're back to Jerry Matola. Jerry Matola, recognized.
With the climate smart plan being looked at, New York State has said that they want everybody to switch out of gas to go to electric by 2030. How does that affect a lot of the residents in this town?
I mean, as far as gas for vehicles?
No, gas for
Natural gas.
Natural gas.
It's an aspirational goal on the part of the state,
Yeah, it's a goal.
but I mean,
They have to set guidelines that we have to review. There's no way that
well,
we can know what's going to happen in 7 years.
Aspirational goal, yeah. Certainly not at the town board level.
no.
No.
Any public comments from the virtual world? You could raise your hand or just turn your microphone on. It's not that many people up there. Public comments. Okay, I'm going to close the public comments. Do we have any other business? That's a no. Okay, we're at the very ever popular adjournment. Okay, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn this meeting at 8:15 PM. Do I have a second? Maria, help me out
I'll
here.
second that.
All right, Maria, second. All in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is ended. Go in peace. Thank you.
Good night.
Switch your microphones
Good night,
over.
everybody.
Thank you, Howard.
Good night.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Yep.
Bye.